Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
And I'm her husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
And before we get started with this review, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Also, make sure you give us some thumbs up. As we have a special guest tonight, we have my main man, Dietrich, on from this season 4 of Ready to Love. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening. How are you doing today, sir?
Good evening. How y'all doing, beautiful people? How y'all doing today?
We're doing well.
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
And I'm not ashamed to say,
Go ahead.
Dietrich, you are my favorite. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I was like, I like him. He's cool.
That was one of the things she couldn't wait. That's one of the things she couldn't wait to do. Man, before we get started to Ready to Love, Dietrich, just give us a little bit, and our listeners and followers, give us a little bit. Who is Dietrich, man? We saw you on the show, but who is Dietrich?
Okay. Well, let's see. 47-year-old gentleman. I did 16 years in the military. Came out the military and tried to discover what I was going to do with my life. You know what I'm saying? It's when you're in the military, you kind of like, you're almost baby, you know what I'm saying? So it's always like, because, first and the 15th, you got a check coming in, whether you go to work or not, a check is always coming in. And then all of a sudden, you hit real life, right? And you jump out and you're like, oh my God, like this is real life. Oh, you mean I got to get up every day in order to get paid this certain amount of money? You know what I'm saying? So, I went through a search in life trying to find who Dedrick actually was, you know what I'm saying? And so, I went through some relationships and things like that. I had a couple of kids, in different relationships. So I have 2 daughters, and now I'm blessed with actually a 4-year-old grandbaby and a granddaughter. So, yeah, I'm just out here now, and I decided to go back to school. It's crazy. I waited until I was in my later 40s to decide to go back to school. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I feel like everything happens in due time. And I just feel like this is my season now. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I'm winning, I'm really winning. And I thank God for every endeavor that I've been in and every future endeavor that I'm going to be in. So I'm just really happy and excited to just be here and just be able to talk to people and, just be me, honestly.
Definitely. What you mentioned, your granddaughter, hence the name Papa.
Yeah. It's funny because that's like the area I'm from in Louisiana. And also, just generally Southern wise, that's the name that grandpas get. It's just Pawpaw, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's Pawpaw, So it was funny how, Stacy immediately said, oh, you a whole Pawpaw up in here, you know what I'm saying? And so with that, I was like, wow, that's exactly what my grandbaby, called me. And the funny story is I did not want to be called Pawpaw. Like I want to be called something cool because I'm not like I know a lot of 47-year-olds, right? And I don't know, sometimes they just be acting just too old for me. I can't take it. I can't take it. Whereas me, I'm like really young. I listen to all types of music. I have wide ranges of music, but I still can listen to the newest music. My kids get mad at me because I still can do the dances that, the new dances and things like that, because I'm in the culture, so it's just, yeah. When she said Papa, I was like, wow, that's what my grandma, but I want to be called, I always thought it was cool, the name Pyran. But so I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I want to be called Pyran, right? And she was like, why do you want to be called Pyran? She's like, baby, you can't be Pyran. I'm like, why I can't? I could just make names because everybody else do names and stuff. And so in French, Pyran means God daddy. So I could be my grandbaby's God daddy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, if I got to be Pawpaw, then fine. I wanted to be G daddy. My daughter, she knew I didn't want to be called Pawpaw. So she kept pushing it in my daughter's head, my grandbaby's head, Pawpaw. And then finally it just came Pawpaw. And I was like, and when I heard Pawpaw, I just melted. I was like, you know what? You can call me whatever you want to call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, let me find out. Dietrich. You out there doing TikTok dances? You that kind of Paw? You that fly?
No, I don't be doing TikTok dances,
Okay.
but I can dance though. You know what I'm saying? Like I can dance, so I've always been able to dance. I always was the dancer, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't dancing professionally or nothing like that, but I can dance, so any of the new dances that come out, I'm doing them, So I know my kids, like when they were growing up, they used to, because I was always like the cool dad, you know what I'm saying? So people, I'm a sneakerhead, so I got like 200 plus sneakers, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So I'm still in the culture, and I think that's what's crazy about, like, even in the mentorship program that I'm in, I connect with a lot of the young men because I'm there with them. I understand all this, you know what I'm saying? I understand what they're going through. And it just comes from my grandmother instilling them. She used to always say, you got to know the devil. You know what I'm saying? You got to know him when he coming at you. If you don't know him, if you just always concerned about the good stuff and you not ever knowing, I want to know what my kids, I always want to know what they were listening to. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just want to just be like, turn that off, or, I want to know, what are you listening to? Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember some of the things of me growing up and what I was listening to. And, and my mom, she would come in the room at the last minute and she would think it was something totally different than what it actually was, So, I mean, even, push it.
Yeah.
Right.
How many people's mamas thought they was really saying the PU word?
Yeah.
So, I got in trouble. I got a whole whipping for that. And I was like, Mama, they saying push it. No, I know what they said. I'm like, hold up. Slow down.
Yeah.
So, so I just want to stay in the culture, and just be able to reach the youth and stuff like that, to kind of, get them alone in life. They need that push. They need to know that, okay, we are understood by some people,
Right.
So yeah,
I think it's interesting that you would say that, because I think back to what 47-year-olds were like when we were growing up, and they were like unrelatable, like they were so old. And I think we're on the same lines like you. We listen to what our kids are listening to, and also tell them like, hey, wait, did you hear what he just said? Do you know what that means? I don't know if you should be listening to that. You singing it like, So yeah, it's very important, especially like you said, when you're mentoring young people, they want to feel that you're connected and be like, oh, you know who so-and-so is? You know who? Oh, wow, you know that song? Oh, okay.
Exactly. Yep.
Keep your finger on the pulse, and keep your finger on the pulse, and also be transparent. And that's what makes it different. You talk about being a sneakerhead. You get every young man, since you talking about being a sneakerhead, talking about the shoes, right? Because everybody went, oh, you got one pair of shoes. Well, I got these LeBrons, I got these Jordan, I got these KDs, and therefore there's come that discussion in the mentorship. Now they begin to trust you, and they build a relationship. And so they can move on to where you need to do that. So I understand. Exactly. So I understand, the cool papa, what that means. You know what I'm saying? Being that cool papa type of guy. And then I think that's the feel everybody got to when we watched you on Ready to Love. Absolutely. Was that this was a cool, down to earth brother that he enjoyed having fun, enjoyed hanging out, enjoyed being just that you were who you were. You know what I'm saying? Being hanging out and being relaxed. And this is what I'm here for. And I'm trying to find love, My question to that is, prior to the show, were you having trouble? Why were you having trouble in your eyes that you was finding love? If you was having trouble finding love?
Oh, I wasn't having trouble finding love.
Okay.
No, so what? You know what I'm saying? It's funny, because it's like, because I actually read the synopsis of the show, and then I also read like the part that they put on, like when they were like lonely Texas, and I was I'm like, child, boo, I am not lonely. and even when I to move just a little further, it's like I read the comments of my fans and also people who just hate me and stuff, and it's like, and I have some people who are like, I'm so sorry for you got voted. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. So the thing about it is I had came out of a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And so I needed some time to heal from that relationship, to try to get my mind back right. You know what I'm saying? And to just get ready to go back into the whole, dating scene and things like that. Because a lot of stuff has changed, a lot of things. And the crazy thing about it now is that things change almost immediately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even fashion, it's like I just saw bell bottoms are about to come back, and I can't do it, but yeah.
Nah,
I
can't do that.
But no, they're back. Yeah, they're back. And I was like, why? And but but it's like almost immediately things change. You know what I'm saying? So and culture is so much involved in people's lives nowadays, and culture, it's not even, before culture used to, it would be a culture and it would last for a long time. Mm-hmm. But now it's like you wake up the next morning and it's like, oh, you still wearing that? Why are you wearing that? That is not. And I'm like, yesterday it was cool, but today is not cool anymore. You know what I'm saying? Or the way you thinking is now all of a sudden it's not cool anymore, And so it's like that in the dating scene, especially in Houston. Houston is Houston is horrible as far as dating wise, because there's such a disconnect with just genuine people being able to talk to each other, and everybody's trying to impress everybody. And I'm like, why? Like, why are we doing all this? Like, we ain't got to impress each other, like, we just people, let's just be normal, genuine, loving people. If someone doesn't like you, it's cool. It's fine. Like, they're not bullying you. That just means they don't like you, and that's cool, and you're not going to be for everybody. And that's cool. Like, that's like, and I think nowadays people are so detached from that and don't want to be told no and can't be, what I'm saying, to the point where we've all just become just big babies about everything. Right. And so to answer your question, I became healed from that situation. And one of my friends' clients who she, she's been around me for a while and things like that. And she was like, you know what? You would be good for this show. And I was like, what show? And she was like, a dating show. And I'm like, I'm not doing no dating show. Like, I'm not doing it. And she was like, I'm going to sign you up anyway. I'm like, you do whatever you want to, but I'm not doing it, And so she signed me up. And then I got a call from one of the producers. And they were like, hey, we would like to, schedule you for an interview. And I was like, okay, cool, fine, let's do it. And I briefly spoke to my mama. Now, you'll hear me say about my mama a couple of times because my mom is very impactful in my life. She's my spiritual guidance counselor. So I could say that my mom is the closest thing or the closest person I know to God. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like that I could say if I needed something from God, I would go to her and ask her to please talk to him, because even though I tell everybody Jesus is my best friend, but I still would go to her and be like, hey, because I didn't seen some stuff that this lady done that I'd be like, right. Like some
you get a prayer through.
like some powerful stuff, what I'm saying, that this lady has done, so you will hear me speak about her a lot because she's just that impactful in my life, so she was like, baby, don't knock the opportunity. She's like, you never know what could come out of this. You never know who you could meet, She's like, you might not even be going on there to meet somebody. You might be going on there to help somebody save their lives or something like that. She's like, you never know. She's like, so just do it. And so reluctantly, I did it, and here we are today, man.
Yeah. I like that. You said your mom said that because Joel made that point on one of the episodes. It's like we come on here to find love, but you also find brotherhood.
Right.
I think Edwin said that on the previous season that he came there looking for love, but he found himself. So it's good that you could come out of this situation with, even if I don't have a potential mate, I learned about myself and I learned some new people or whatever. I like the fact that you said, like, okay, my mom is like right hands with God. Like, I'm about to get this prayer through, because it ain't nothing like a mama that got a direct connection to God. Be like, mama, he hears you.
Yeah.
I need you, right, mama. If you say it, I know it's God, because I know God said it to you. So So along those lines, so did you grow up in church?
Yes, I actually did. Yeah. So I grew up in church. My grandmother was she started off as an evangelist, and then she became a preacher. And so I grew up, Christian for quite a while. And then my mom she moved to California, and she had a really good job and everything like that. And then some kind of way she like kind of, you go through life and you grow and things like that, and or things change and stuff like that. And she became interested in Islam. And so she became a Muslim, and therefore I became a Muslim. And so like from, I would say probably about the age of 5 all the way to probably about the age of, I would say maybe 10. Yeah. So about 5 years. But in those 5 years, I learned how to read, write, and speak Arabic fluently.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I learned a lot about just Islam, and I'm talking about like what the true Islam preachings are about. And so I learned quite a bit about it, and how, beautiful is of a religion it actually is, what I'm saying, and how dedicated of a people they are to their God, what I'm saying. And so once I moved back to live with my grandmother a while, so my mom could, do what because she was working a lot and stuff. So I moved back with my grandmother, and of course she was not having that. She's like, Allah is not coming into my house, player.
Right.
This is Jesus's house. So that kind of like switched, and and then I became, I went back to Christianity or whatever. And then my mom, was battling back, and then finally she became, Christian. And but the crazy thing about it is that the dedication for God is still there.
Yeah.
So just because, that's why I don't knock any religion, because you can always learn something from something. And I tell people, if you ever study Islam, like they like are intense about God. And so as Christians, a lot of time I'll be like, hey, we got to be intense about God too. You know what I'm saying? Especially if we saying that he's the most highest and the most powerful, then we need to be just as intense as everybody else is. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, so that dedication is still there. I'm not saying I go to church every Sunday. I'm not saying I read my Bible every day, but I am dedicated. You know what I'm saying? I get on my knees and I pray every day. I do all those things like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just trying to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? But I still, and I still have fun. And I drop cuss words sometimes, and I'm a sailor, so it just sometimes it just fly out, and I be like, and I'll be like, "Ooh, I'm sorry, my bad." You know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, I'm just a normal person, man. You know,
cool.
And that's that's how it is sometimes when you build in relationships and religious relationships and finding yourself in the word, or you're finding yourself in your religion, whatever your religion is, you begin to find yourself, begin to grow, and that growth there. Prior to you getting to Ready to Love, did you know anybody on the cast? You got on this cast. Did you know anybody on the cast of the season that you was on prior to getting onto the show?
Okay, so a long time ago, I had met Liz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like I did because I was actually I've done musicals before and things like that. So yeah. So I've been what they call thespian. I was in the arts, so I did I actually did a musical. It was a Three Blind Mice, and I was one of the mice, and it was singing in it and everything like that. And so I remember seeing Liz then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I didn't try to talk to her, but I asked somebody who she was, and they was like, "Oh, that's Liz. You better come with it correct." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Okay, whatever." But yeah, but I don't think I ever really approached her on that, because it was the whole, we were doing the show and everything like that and stuff. But she was just like one of the people coming to watch us, But that was the only person that I remembered. Anybody else, I didn't know any of those people. That's crazy because Houston is small, but it's big. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the same thing Stacy said when we talked to Stacy. She said, and I was going to say that earlier. She said it's a big city, but it's small.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And it's funny because you don't know people until it's the wrong time. Then you know them or they know you, and it's like, Houston's so big. How you know me? It's the wrong time. You run into somebody you ain't supposed to be with that person, and you're supposed to be with somebody else. And it's like, oh, it's like, man, Houston's so big. How do you know? So that was crazy because I expected coming on the show and seeing at least about, one or two people, at least 3 or 4 people that I knew. And I was like, no, I don't know none of these people. Never seen any of these people before in life. So.
And are you speaking, so just on your season, did you know, because we know the season before, those were people from Houston too. So did you know anybody from the previous season either? Nope.
None of them. My mentor, and yes, I did say mentor, because I like to tell people it doesn't matter how old you are, you always need to have somebody higher than you.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can go to, that you can, what I'm saying, get some counseling from, get some, some positive motivation. Sometimes you need that, what I'm saying? And so a lot of people like, you're 47, you still need a mentor. It's time for you to grow up. No, it's not that. No, it's just, everybody should have a mentor. Like, you should have a mentor, And so my mentor, he knew or he knows Calfani, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
And so so he had mentioned that to me. But as far as me knowing anyone from any of the seasons, no, I didn't know any of them.
Wow.
Before we move on, did you watch any of the seasons prior to you being on the show? Did you even know about the show?
Didn't know about the show, but what I am going to say is that I'm a very observant person. And so I said to myself, it would be quite ignorant for me to show up on the show and not know anything about the show. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I sat down and I binge watched the whole show.
Okay.
I'm talking about from season 1 all the way through, because I wanted to know, okay, this is not a competition, but it is a competition.
Right.
So you need to be able to know how to maneuver in order because everybody wants to go to the end. That's what everybody wants to do. Yeah. And so I was like, I need to do that. So, yeah.
So when you first get to the house, you get to the property, people are already there before you. Who are you looking at? Who are you scoping out? Who are you checking out once you first get to the house?
Well, actually, I was the first one to the house.
That's right. You're the first one there.
Right.
That's right. You're
Yeah.
the first one.
I was
So
the
you
first
went
one at the house. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there and waiting, you know, in the because they got us a car. So I'm sitting in the car and I'm mad because I'm like, man, this is taking entirely too long. And I'm in a suit and I don't really wear suits. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I just want to be in, I don't necessarily have to be in a t-shirt, but at least like a nice polo and, you know, some nice, you know, fitted pants or something, you know, my style. You know, I'm not the suit guy. I'm not the suit guy. So we used to go back and forth, bumping heads, me and one of the producers. He's like, I need you in the suit. And I'm like, I don't want to wear a suit. That is not who I am. So, but he, you know, he was fun about it. But he was like, I need you. He's like, Dedrick, you look really nice in suits. I want you in suits. And so I was like, I'm gonna put on the suit. So I wore the suit, but I sat there for a while. Was a little nervous at first, you know, and then I thought about it. I was like, hey, we're all here for the same reason. So, and again, my thought process has always been, what's the worst you can be told? Is no. I've been told no before, so it didn't hurt me. I was just fine, and I moved on in life. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and, you know, see what is out there. And that's when Stacy had walked through, and then that's when me and her struck up a conversation, you know. So to answer your question, who I was checking out, of course I was checking out Stacy. As people start coming in and everything like that, Kyra had caught my eye. Vernicia, of course, had caught my eye. And yeah, I think that was, you know what I'm saying, I wasn't really, you know, I was still, you know, trying to peep everybody out, but you just on first glances, that was who, you know, had caught my eye.
Yeah, you were navigating yourself through what was going on and surveying the land.
Right, right, exactly.
Peeping and checking everybody out.
Yes, exactly.
I think one of the biggest things the fans took from the season, you know, you was peeping and looking and checking anyone out, was when the statement you said, you know, when you talked to Tressa and said, you know, you're used to be, I have a different type now. That you used to be my type, and now I got a different type. What was Dietrich's type before?
It wasn't a type. Never said type. Okay. Here's what I said. I said I used to be attracted.
I used to be attracted.
Okay.
Yes.
What I was meaning is that my ex was a big girl, and so I was attracted to her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't even about size with me. I know that now. I know that I was nervous, and I know the way that it sounded is not the way that I wanted it to sound, but it came out like it came out like that, and it's in I constantly apologize for that and say, yo, that's not what I meant. You know what I'm saying? What I was really trying to get her, I was really uncomfortable about the question. Mm-hmm. Because it came like kind of off guard, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, we weren't even like really getting to know each other yet. And you're just like, so am I your type? And I'm like, wow. You know, like, wow, you know. And so in saying that, it probably was poor choice of words. You know, now hindsight 2020, you know what I'm saying? When you go back and you look at everything, it's like, should I have said that way? No, I probably just should have said no. You know, and then just kept it moving unless she wasn't like, well, why not? You know what I'm saying? Because the fact of the matter is my type is women. That's my type.
Right.
I don't care what size you are. I don't have a type. If you ask all the girlfriends that I've had or any person that I've been in a relationship with, that has always been their issue, is that they're like, well, I don't know, you know, who you could be checking for, you know, because, you know, women always want to size up their competition. And And there was like no competition to size up against because everybody looks totally different. Like everybody looks totally different body shapes, different skin tones, different, like everything is different. And it's because I just love women and I grew up with women in my life. So of course that was my first examples of what beauty was, you know what I'm saying? And so I find certain things that I like and I'm like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, I'm feeling her, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just a normal vibe that other people be like, what are you thinking? And I'm like, don't worry about me. You worry about yourself. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And so to answer your question, Dedrick does not have a type. Like he really doesn't have a type.
He like Big Daddy Kane. You know, Big Daddy Kane said he take him 8 to 8, don't cripple and crazy, but not literally. But you know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane was like, I'm gonna take it however it comes to me.
Exactly. Now I'm not gonna take anyone, but I will.
Right.
You know, but you know, if we got the right vibe and everything, I'm rocking with you, and that's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's a great question, though, and this is the first time I've ever been able to answer it that way, and I think it's because I feel comfortable with y'all.
Oh, well, that's awesome because that was one of the main questions that we wanted to ask. You know,
Right.
So it's good to hear your heart when you say that. Yeah, that's good. I told you I like Dedrick.
Yeah. But then it goes on. Then you guys end up going out too as well. You know, you end up going on a date. And was that because you just want to really to fill out to see, okay, could this be? I don't want to turn anything down. I want to be able to go out and I want to see if there's some kind of chemistry or some kind of thing between us, or is it as many people saying the homie vibe? Is it some chemistry or is it really thing? Because y'all going on a spice date.
No, okay, so
as we saw on TV, let me put it that way. As we saw on TV, y'all ended up going on a spice. Y'all end up going to the store, and they portrayed it as being a date.
Right.
Let me say it that way. And I know you got a lot of flack out of that, so I want to get your perspective.
Yeah, because people was like, "Oh, really? You take a girl to a spice date? What kind of do to you?" And I'm like, "Oh, like." Like they got me looking like a whole clown out in these streets. That's not even me. Like I would never take a woman to a spice store like that. Unless like we've been like, rocking for a long time and I want to, educate you on some things, you know what I'm saying? Then I'll be like, hey, yo, let's go to the spice store so you can see where I shop at so that you can know how to do it, you know what I'm saying? But just off of GP like that, no, that's not Dedrick. So, yeah. So here's the thing. We were all together on a date. Now I knew the owner of the place, and she actually is a client. She purchased food from me I just did her Thanksgiving dinner for her.
Okay.
So that was like really cool, and I had forgot that she actually owned the spot that we showed up to, so for the cooking class and everything. And so there was a whole vibe in there. It was really good. We were drinking wine. Everybody was, just defense was down. People were just being just calm and cool. It wasn't even like the cameras were there. You know what I'm saying? So it was a really good vibe. When she offered me some of her okra, and people were like, he didn't like it. I actually did like it, but the way that I chew and the way that I operate is I'm very like almost like a computer. Mm-hmm. So it's like as I'm eating, I'm trying to like get all what I'm tasting in all this stuff and all the food. I analyze food. I'm one of the people a lot of people don't like to go to the restaurant with because I'm like, I don't like it. They should have did this way versus this way. I can even tell you they put the butter in first when they should have put it in last. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And people are like, what? Like, who are you? So I analyze food that deeply because I love food. So I analyze it. And so I was actually thinking, and I was like, oh, wow, this is actually really good. And then I was looking at her and I was like, man, like she's nice. She's a nice lady. You know what I'm saying? Whether there's an attraction or not, attraction isn't everything. You know, is because I want to be with someone that at the end of the day I could lay down with, and we not touch each other in the bed, and it's just beautiful. And I just listen to her breathe, and she listens to me breathe, and we just like are just in hog heaven. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like that. I'm looking for something more deep than just sex. You can get sex from anybody. You can get sex all day. Like it's easy. That's not the issue. It's more about the connection. And so at that point, I was like, you know what, Dietrich, you're wrong for this. And briefly what they didn't show was in our liberation with Tommy was like, I need for y'all to step out of your comfort zone and just give everybody a chance and just see. He's like, you never know what you're going to get out of this. You never know. And so I was like, you don't want to block your blessings. You never know. Like this could possibly be your wife, And
Right.
so that's when I was like, you know what? All right, we should do a date. Let's do a date. You know what I'm saying? Just to see, and that's what I did. Now I didn't know that it was going to be a spice store. It ended up being a spice store, and I was like, okay, wow, spice store, really? In all fairness to the producers, I mean, they tried to get us to where, they just figured with me being a chef that I could probably shine in a spice store. You know what I'm saying? And so that was they wanted me to be in my element. You know what I'm saying? Right. Whereas I was like, I don't want to be in my element. Like I'm always in my element. I want to be somewhere where I can just chill out and not even think about work right now. You know what I'm saying? And so, in all fairness, like I said, they did their best, and I appreciate them. So,
if it was your choice, not the producer's choice, where would you have taken Tressa on a date?
On a date, we probably, what? Honestly, I think because Tressa is a comedian, I would have wanted to go somewhere fun. I probably would have taken her like maybe to like a Dave and Buster's or something like that, something where we could interact with each other and get to actually know each other. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe go bowling or something like that, where we could jaw back and forth, talk back with each other. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like you want people, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta know what that person does and then try to, you know what I'm saying, get them in that area, you know what I'm saying, where they can possibly be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking something like this, something fun, because Tressa likes to have fun. She's a fun lady, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let's do something fun, you know what I'm saying? Spice store to me is not fun, especially when it's a spice store I've never been in before. So
but we also, what they didn't show, that you had a relationship with Stacy.
A
date with Stacy. Excuse me. I won't say relationship. A date with Stacy. Tell us about that, and how was you and Stacy's date? Because they showed us a little clip, not on the show itself, but something they put out on YouTube where you guys went to the spin class.
Right. Okay. So again, like. I don't even know how to say it, man, because it's like I had a lot of connections. I didn't just have one connection.
Right.
But they only like focused on that one connection because that one connection would have been high ratings.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
Absolutely.
So and I understand it's a show, you know what I'm saying? But like it was a long time before me and Stacy got to go out on a date. When Stacy was my number one.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a while before she and I got to go on a date.
Right.
It was a while before me and Vernisha got to go on a date.
Right. That was my next one going to bring up, because you and Vernisha went on a date.
Was my number two.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I had more interactions with Tressa than I had with the women that I really wanted to go out on dates and get to know. You see what I'm saying? So in all fairness, that kind of upset me because I was like, yo, like, what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of put me in a bad position because I knew eventually that it was going to backfire on me. And I really didn't want it to happen in that way, but I knew ahead of time. I knew it was going to backfire. I saw it coming. I was like, man, this is going to be bad. Like this is going to be really bad. And the bad thing about it is that because I have a lot of clients, like probably about 95%, 90 to 95% of my clients are African American women. You know what I'm saying? And not all of them are heavier, voluptuous women, but some of them are. And I'm big on portraying myself as I am, not as what people think I am.
Right.
So that's why I'm very genuine, and I'm very like, this is me, and I have people who hate me or I have people who love me. I don't have people who kind of like me. I'm like
Right.
either, I'm or that. It's no in betweens with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the same way with people. If I don't like you, I don't like, we don't have no discussion. Like I do not talk to you, I will be Christian like and be like, hey, I don't mess with you, so don't try to come over here and have a long conversation with me. And I will say that. I will say, hey, how you doing? And if you start coming with the conversation, I'm like, bruh or sister, I don't really rock with you like that. So let's
Oh,
not
wow.
be fake. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very to the point and straightforward in that area. I do not play around. So in that whole situation, I didn't want my clients to feel themselves and hurt and feel rejected.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
And so that was my main goal. It switched my whole life into trying to make sure that people don't think who the TV is showing me out to be. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's and I became frustrated. I'm not gonna lie, I became like very frustrated because I was like, yo, y'all got me looking like something that I'm not, and this is really not good for me. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even talking about money wise. I was just saying mentally, and I'm like, yo, we got to chill on this. Like this ain't gonna, like this is not gonna work for me. And so to answer your questions, like I just felt my my true connections, I didn't spend enough time with them. So when me and Stacy did finally get the date, it was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It was kind of weird because it was like, okay, we had this great conversation when we first met. Like it was like over like probably about 2 hours of a conversation. Like I knew pretty much everything about her, and she knew because you can learn a lot about a person in 2 hours. And
Right.
so
Yeah.
we had like this long conversation, I'm like, wow, this is a beautiful person, genuinely inside and everything. And she's just looking for love like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And so from that to, like second date, I'm telling Tressa, hey, let's go out. And then it was like every date after that, like I think it was like 4 dates. And all those 4 dates involved me and Tressa somewhere in the situation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they saw a storyline that they wanted to play with,
Right. Exactly.
and not
And
give you
in
out.
all fairness, I could see them doing that, but I was like, wow, like, no, like we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
As you mentioned, we didn't see you and Venetia because again, you try to build other relationships because again, you said you binge watch the seasons, so you
Right.
know that in order to make it to the end, kind of, you're gonna have to have multiple relationships with
Yeah.
multiple people,
Connection.
multiple connections.
Yeah. 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 And then another thing, just to show y'all that I really was not playing the game is the fact that like it was already known. If you want to know how Dedrick feels about you, then just go ask him.
Mm-hmm.
and he's not going to play a game. He's going to actually tell you the truth on how he feels. And actually, that came from Tressa. She was like, if you want to know how you want to know the truth, just go ask Dedrick. Dedrick will tell you the truth. Like he is not going to beat around the bush. He's not going to play any games. He's going to tell you if he's feeling you, he's feeling you. If he's not, he's not. And I mean, that's the way that I am. I've always been that person. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, it made me a little bitter, but at the same time, you know, we all have to understand that it is entertainment also. And so that would have made a beautiful story if it would have worked. You know what I'm saying? It would have made a beautiful story. It would have made high ratings.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. You know, and I'm disappointed, like, because like my husband said, we really got that from you. We got that genuineness that came across to us. So I'm disappointed that some people didn't see that. You know, I'm like, you know, people watching the show, I'm like, you knuckleheads, why would you think that? You know, you really came across as a good, genuine guy. And we're getting that now too. It's the same as we saw on the show. So I wanna say for all y'all, don't be hating on Dietrich. Don't do that.
Well, you know, the thing about it is that again, it's because they saw themselves in her.
Right.
And so it was like they saw themselves being rejected. Right. And so like, wow, you rejecting, you know what I'm saying? Oh, that's how we doing it now? You know what I'm saying? Like this beautiful sister, and you rejecting her because of her size and she's different. And I'm like, whoa, slow down. Like, like if y'all know my ex, which a lot of people know my ex, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put her name out there now, but she's famous. But if y'all know my ex, like that was shut down. Like that whole conversation would be shut down immediately. Like, you know, like it would be like that whole thing would be canceled, culture canceled. It really would, because people would be like, "Oh wow, no, he's nowhere like." So yeah, you know,
we also saw on camera that you and Ida had a little bit of a relationship. I won't say conversation. I keep saying relationship.
You just want to match him up.
I'm not even trying to match you up to a conversation. Were you one of the guys that was feeling Ida at the beginning, because we know she was the first one sent home?
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing with that. That was a very emotional situation for me. Here's the reason why. I didn't agree with how quick people were being sent home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, okay, Khalil had got sent home. I didn't know Khalil, so I couldn't, you know, have any like heartfelt, really feelings about him like that. You know what I'm saying? No offense, Khalil. I know Khalil's my homeboy now, but I didn't know him like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, Chris, I knew Chris. Like, which is, you know what? I lie. Chris was the only person I knew. That's right. Okay. Chris. Everybody knows Chris. You know how that TV show, everybody hates Chris? Yeah. Everybody knows Chris. I promise you. I swear to you, I promise you. I've been living in Houston like probably about 13, 14 years. And Chris was like one of the first people that I met. And everybody knows Chris. Like, like you go to a club with Chris, like the whole everybody, Chris. It's like all over the place, like Black. That's what they call him, Black. Like Black. Everybody knows Black.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, for real. Like seriously, yeah. So everybody knows Black. So when I remember talking to Black, because I had, you know, I've always been friends with women. I've always like had a lot of women friends. And I mean, just platonic women friends. Even in high school, I had women friends. And so they say things to me, you know, and I could hear them saying, man, I wish Chris would open up, or I wish Chris would just talk more. And then I remember being in certain situations where the guys we sitting around or whatever, or while we was at the house, and it was like me and Chris and like 3 other women in there. And it was just me talking. And so I kind of pulled them aside and I was like, bro, this is not the place to be timid and shy. Like, you got to come with it, bro. You got to let them know who you are. Or you could possibly go home tonight. Like, seriously, I didn't watch the show. I know how the show goes. Somebody going home. Somebody thinking they staying, but they going home. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you got to be out showing exactly who you are so that people can fight for you and be like, no, I want to get to know him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You're right. So I started seeing him actually doing this and talking to people and stuff like that. And then it's like, okay, Khalil went home and then we all go back out and we talking more. And Chris is actually talking to people and handling business and doing this thing. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, one other person we just feel ain't ready, and Christian, you're going home. And I'm like, what? Like,
my man's in them.
my man's in them was just like over here, like back in this one, that one, and that one. Y'all sending him
right.
home. So that kind of, and then the whole terminology where they tell you you're not ready to love, like, that bothered me. It touched me in a bad way because I'm like, how you just gonna tell somebody they ain't ready? Like, who the hell are you to tell somebody? Who am I to tell somebody that they ain't ready to love? Like, I don't know you like that. Like, I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying? You might think that I ain't ready to love, you know? And so moving forward, we at the brunch, and I could tell Ida was talking a whole lot. And I was like, she is nervous. She is nervous. And sometimes Ida can be misunderstood in her nervousness, because I've been that person too. So I could put myself inside and understand what she was going through. So what I did is I was, you know, somebody came to me and was like, you need to go talk to Ida. I was like, okay, I'm going to take her out. So I pulled her over and I was like, hey, you know, I started talking to her. I said, how you feeling? You know, and can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, all right. And so she started, you know, telling me, you know, she was just talking to me normal, you know, and we were good. And I was like, hey, you know, are you good? How's everything going? And all that stuff like that. And then we were getting into a really good conversation. And I was finally getting to break that ice and let her know, hey, I know you're nervous, but like, calm down, boo. It's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be fine. Just go with the flow. Understand that you're here to find love. It's going to be all right. You know, you're going to find it and everything's going to be good. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're like at this point where we're like starting to connect, you know what I'm saying? Just like mentally. And it's like, okay, now, you know, you come over here and you go over there, and you go over there, and we fixing to talk to Tommy. I'm like, we in a good conversation. Like, we getting ready to. I'm like, oh man, here we go. Yes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, so, you know, I guess, you know, we on the show. So I understand that. So then we went from that to actually having a conversation about who we feeling, who we not feeling. I'm like, okay. And then I starting to hear guys, well, I'm not feeling Ida because Ida's talking too much, or she's doing this, she's doing that. And I'm like, yo, but wait though, man. Like, I just had a good conversation with her. Like, it was a really good conversation. And I feel what y'all was saying, because she and I wouldn't say we were butting heads, but we were kind of like, I don't know if I really, you know what I'm saying? And so now we're at this point, like, let's give her a chance. Like, let's see, you know what I'm saying? If it's more to it, you know? And so then all of a sudden, you know, hey, Ida, you going home? And I'm like, wow. And you know, it's like, you're not ready to love. And, you know, and I like, after that, I cried. I didn't cry because I was like, oh, I'm so in love with her, you know, but I just felt, you know what I'm saying? And I felt, and even when she left, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it came off. People were like, oh, she crazy or whatever. I'm like, no, like, she's hurt. Like, she actually opened up. Y'all wasn't there for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all wasn't there for that part when she was actually opening up, and now all of a sudden y'all got the nerve to tell her she ain't ready to love.
Right.
Like, and how do you think that feels? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you think that feels to an individual to finally open up to somebody, and now all of a sudden, collectively, we all feel like she's not ready to love, you know?
Yeah. And we you know, watching it, we thought it was a little kind of, I want to use the words conspiracy, because that's one of the only deliberations we did not see. That's one of the deliberations that didn't show, with a deliberation where when she went home, or even
Right.
the first episode, you know, so we didn't see that one. I'm like, we always see a deliberation to see people meet up and have a conversation, but you never see that name drop. So we kind of figured there was something in the inner workings with that. And we had Ida on and we talked to her. She was hurt. She didn't feel like it was her ready time for her to go. Like
Right.
it was somebody else. She was feeling like it might have been somebody else. It wouldn't be me. And she talked about being nervous and, you know, being, you know, trying to calm herself down. And she said, that's me. And it is just her. When we interviewed her, it's just her. Yep. And that's who she is.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, you also, you know, on the show, they send you home. So you go out on a date. You're on the date. Did you have a feeling that you was going to get sent home that night prior to?
I already knew.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I already knew. Not because of them. I just knew.
Right.
Yeah, I just knew. You know what I'm saying? I did order of elimination, and, you know, I was like, okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I wasn't supposed to, but I knew that I was going home.
Got you. Yeah. You're a smart guy. You watch the show. Okay, this person who they've tried to hook me up with, she's gone.
Right.
This is my connection. I don't have any other connections. So guess what?
According to the show.
According to the show.
Yeah.
I don't have any other connections. So my name might be next. My time might be running up.
Right.
Were you relieved when you got that notice, when you was told, you know what, Dietrich, this is it?
I was very much so. Yeah, I was ready because I had a lot going on. Yeah, I had a lot going on. I'm a full-time student. I got a full-time business. Yeah, and it was very mentally taxing.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and when you commit to something like that, I don't think people understand the amount of time that is spent doing that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, things can be last minute at times, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, you don't get a schedule till, you know, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And it's because, you know, they have to do their work, you know what I'm saying? They got to plan it out, you know, make sure, you know, they got to call up all these places and make sure that there's, you know, room for us to sit in there. And, you know what I'm saying? Things like they got a lot on their end that they have to do in order to make the next day work properly. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so it may seem last minute to us, but it's a lot of work behind the scenes that has to be done in order for something to, you know what I'm saying, to come through with that. So,
yeah.
So my question would be, if you had it to do over again, would you do it again?
No.
Okay.
No.
He's like, nah.
Nah, he ain't got to think about that one, dog. You got to tell me you ain't gonna ask that.
Maybe if it was like a cooking competition or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, but for a love show, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. And I was going to say too, you talked about the time constraints and, you know, doing this show with living your life. I'm glad you binge watched all the seasons, because if you just watched the season before yours, you know, you would have got a different idea, because they had the luxury of all being on the resort. Exactly. They took their time off. That was their whole focus.
Well, you know, we've been together a long time, because that's the next question I was going to ask. That's not even written down.
Well, you know, the thing about it is that we were actually supposed to go on the we were actually supposed to go to a resort, and then something happened behind the scenes where they had to shut the whole operation down for a hot minute, and then they opened back up again. Yeah, but we were supposed to go to. The difference between us and them, it probably would have been better if we had went out there, because then everybody could have had equal opportunities with everybody, and plus it would have been less time.
Right.
We did like 8 weeks. They only did 4 weeks.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So that was it was a totally different situation. So 4 weeks, I could have did 4 weeks. But 8 weeks though,
Right.
Right. Yeah, and that's, I think that's the difference too. You talked about cooking a lot, man. When did you fall in love with cooking? We see you on Instagram. You're doing your Saturday night things. You're cooking.
right,
Listening to your hip hop jamming. When did you
right.
fall in love with cooking?
That was real early, probably about like 10 years old, because I was the oldest child, and so I have three younger sisters, and so like mama would go to work or whatever, and then I had to be there, what I'm saying, and help out and stuff like that. And so I can remember like the first thing I ever made was like an egg sandwich, but the way that I did it, I put like bologna on, and I use like lettuce and tomato and avocado and all that stuff, and it ended up tasting like a hamburger, and I was just so excited enthralled that I made a sandwich that tastes like a hamburger that wasn't a hamburger. You know what I'm saying? And so from that point on, I've always been cooking, and people have always told me, "Hey, you're gifted with this," and I'm like, I don't want to cook for people. Like that's not what I want to do. And then it happened that my ex-wife, she actually did a reality show. I'm gonna tell y'all, and then y'all gonna probably look it up, and then y'all gonna know who my ex is. But she did a reality show on The Biggest Loser, and so it catapulted me into wanting to be like a better husband and person, and knowing how to help her heal her body, and what I'm saying, get to where she really wanted to be as far as body wise. And so then I started learning about nutrition and things like that. I actually went to become a certified personal trainer at the Cooper Institute in Dallas, Texas. um, and then I started seeing where trainers were training their people, but the people were still like, they weren't losing weight. And I was like, well, it doesn't make sense. And so I started asking, do y'all do anything nutrition wise? And a lot of them would be like, no. And I'm like, well, that's where majority of it is the nutrition. Like you can get a six pack from eating the right stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to do a good work, but not a lot of work. It's really what you eat. And so then I said, you know what, I'm going to help people in that manner. And so then that's when I went on the journey of doing healthy food. And from healthy food, it changed to healthy food that actually tastes good, because I was like, I remember talking to my ex a couple of times and hearing her say, I just want to be normal. I just want to eat normal, just like everybody else eats. You know what I'm saying? And so then I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to make that happen then. You know what I'm saying? And so now, like, I have some things that people are like, are you sure that this is healthy? Because tastes amazing. Like I got a cauliflower, I got a coconut cauliflower mash that I make, and I promise you, it tastes like mashed potatoes, but better though. It just really does. It tastes amazing, and it's savory, and every once in a while I'll throw like some roasted butternut squash in with it, with some kale, some sauteed kale, and all together. And
listen. You right up my alley, because I mean, for real, like I ain't ashamed to say it, I've been on a weight loss journey.
Okay.
Just I did it before,
Okay.
after I had my son, and then I started over. And actually, I don't think I ever said this on here. I'm 60 pounds down though. That's what's up.
Congratulations.
And that was my whole thing. It was like, you want to eat, and I want it to taste good. Like, you don't want to eat no paper.
Right.
I don't want to eat cardboard. If I'm
Right.
going to substitute the fried chicken for your grilled chicken, can it taste good? If I'm
Right.
going to put vegetables in there, like you just said, one thing I haven't ventured to try, I haven't done butternut squash.
Okay.
I've done some, from growing up, some things you wouldn't eat. I used to not eat spinach. I used to not eat Brussels sprouts. I used to
Okay.
not eat kale. But as you go through your weight loss journey, you're like, wait, what? That's not so bad. And
Right.
plus, my thing was growing up, yeah, I'm from Virginia.
Okay.
So when my parents fixed squash and zucchini and stuff, listen, you talking about fried it to death, it's brown. Like, what is that? So I didn't want to eat it.
It's
You know what I
all
mean?
wet.
Yes, it was nasty. And I was like, I never. So yeah, I could appreciate, for you wanting to make the food taste good.
Right.
And like you said, when you really get on a weight loss journey, you realize it's not even so much about the workout if what you
Right.
put in your body is not beneficial.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So kudos, I like that. Yes, make some food that we like to eat.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking of that, you're doing this as your business. I mean, if someone's listening or somebody watching our channel and they want to partake in your business, or they on the weight loss journey themselves, how can they reach out to you and contact you?
I can be reached on Instagram is the best way to reach me, you know what I'm saying? My telephone number should be on there. I give it, it's my business number, 281-660-4451. You can text me or leave a message on there and I will respond back to, as long as it's about the food. I don't date my clients. So don't think you're gonna buy some food from me and then we're gonna go out on a date. It's not gonna happen. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So
but along those lines, hold on. So have the DMs been jumping?
I mean, come on now. That's I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, people going, people I can't tell you how many. I know you're probably not gonna read this, but
you right. I'm probably not.
If you're not seeing anyone, I'll be in town next week. Do you think we could possibly meet up? And I think it's cute. I think it's funny. And I'm not necessarily funny in the like ha ha ha.
Right.
It's like I think it's cute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I usually respond to everyone. I don't be like, no, I'm not interested or anything like that. I'll just be like, thank you, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But because the fact of the matter is that for someone to even leap out and do that is, what I'm saying, it's like I'm not gonna make fun of you and be like, no, are you serious? Like hell no, like nah, I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a normal guy. It's crazy to me. When I can't go anywhere now without somebody like not knowing who I am, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Quick story, like me and my I've gained some really good friends on this show. And so like me and Renisha and Kyra are like really close. Like we're really, really close. Like we hang out buddies close, you know what I'm saying? But we all went out last night and we were at this hookah spot and we were just relaxing and just chilling. And it was like all of a sudden, like this woman, she just walks up and she says, well, when we were first walking in, this guy says to Renisha, excuse me. He's like, aren't you on that show? And she said, yes, and turned around and pointed at us. I'm like, wow, that's what we doing. And she was like, yeah, I'm a snitch. I was like, girl, really? And so then later on, we all sitting at the table at the hookah. And then all of a sudden, this woman walks up. She say, oh my God. There go the guy from Ready to Love. And I was like, oh my God, and then she's like, oh, and that's Renisha and that's Kyra. You know what I'm saying? And so we had, but I mean, even today I went to go get my beard taken care of. I found this lady who, does all the beard stuff. And I was like, yeah, let me go over there and get it. And I got it done. And she was cutting my hair. And then all of a sudden she says, you that guy from that show, aren't you? And I was like, girl, you know who I am. Stop. She like, and you a chef, aren't you? Because I need a chef. I'm going out of town. I was like, wow, look at you. So no, but it's kind of weird, but then at the same time is it's pretty cool though. But I really appreciate everyone, and I love all the hate and I love all the love. Like I really do,
And it seems like you take both of them and you just laugh them off, or you deal with the hate that you would get because of the Tressa situation, or the love that you would get because of your personality. Do you handle it well?
Some I don't. If it becomes disrespectful, I will come at you. I will answer. I will answer. Y'all can go look and read my stuff. I will answer you, especially if you're disrespectful. I had one guy. He used the word about me, and I was like, if you ever in Houston, or you could just drop your location and I will come find you. I'm from Louisiana. We don't play like
right.
Don't get this TV thing twisted, bro. Like no. And I meant every word of that. I told them these women disrespect me, but you coming at me disrespectful, brother, like we not fixing to do that. That's not what we're gonna do. But then, and I've had a couple of women say some things, and I try to correct them on that, to let them know that, hey, this is just, you also have to realize this is a TV show, and it is edited, and a lot of things are cut and spliced into different areas, you know what I'm saying? And from being in front of the camera, some of the things I didn't know what they were doing, but now I know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? When they're like, okay, y'all act like Tommy is talking to y'all and saying something very like serious, and I just want y'all to shake y'all head. So we're like, you know what I'm saying? And then later on, you see you doing that, you like, that didn't happen then. You're like, what the hell? You got different outfit on and everything. so it's to learn how TV is, you know what I'm saying? So I always tell everybody, just be, I understand it's TV. I understand y'all have y'all characters that y'all love and the ones that y'all hate. But just please realize that these people are like real people.
Yeah.
And they really put their lives and their hearts out there. And so, like, raise off of them sometime. Like, give them a break. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a form of bullying if you really want to think about it. Because some people been going ham on some people. And I'm like, man, if y'all really knew how that person was, like, y'all really would not do that person like that,
Yeah, definitely that. So before we let you go, we enjoy everything you said. Before you let go, I got a few questions. Just give me the first answer that comes to your head. Okay. All right, here we go. Since you're a hip hop guy, you like all music, DMX or Snoop?
Oh, DMX by far. What are you talking about?
Yes.
All right, collard greens or kale?
Collard greens.
Fried chicken, ribs?
Fried chicken.
Here's the 3-part. Kobe, LeBron, or Michael Jordan?
Wait. You said them two together?
No.
One of
the three. I can't say, just two. So either Kobe, LeBron, or Michael Jordan. Out of those three, which one do you have? Who's the greatest?
Oh, Mike.
Ooh.
Mike. Since I'm gonna hit you one for the gospel background. All right. John P. Key or Hezekiah Walker?
John P. I like John P.
Last one.
The one song, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me.
That's it.
He got to sing a little bit, right?
Oh, we forgot about that. He said he did musicals.
Last one. Lakers or Houston Rockets?
Oh, Lakers.
All day.
Yeah, Lakers. I'm not a Houston guy. I'm from Louisiana. Now you said the Pelicans. You said the Pelicans out the road with the Pelicans. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, I was gonna say the Pelicans, but I figured by that time you probably already moved to Houston. New Orleans didn't get a basketball team till later on. So Pelicans has been there for a minute, but not that long.
Yeah, so no, I'm all about Louisiana, bro. Anything Louisiana, that's what I ride with, But I grew up watching the Lakers. Like I grew up watching the Lakers, with Kareem and Magic and Worthy.
Yeah.
Byron
Yeah,
Scott, Michael
yeah,
Cooper.
yeah.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Cooper, all of that was all like I was like that was a super team to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. As we round things out, and you didn't work out on Ready to Love, but is there someone? Is there someone now? I know somebody want to ask. Is there someone now that Dietrich is entertaining?
There's people. There's people. I'm dating.
Right.
And so in dating, and I say this all the time in my lives, in dating, it's healthy to date multiple people until you find that one person. The difference is there's no sex. And that's where it comes into play. And sex destroys the whole dating logic. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you keep sex out of it, you're good.
Gotcha. And as we wrap this thing up, my final question for you is, what did you learn about Dietrich from Ready to Love that you may not have already known about you?
Just how to date, how to actually healthily date. That's what I learned. I really learned that from the show. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't go on the show to have sex. I really was like, you know what, I'm gonna be open to this, and this is what I'm going to do. And so that, to answer your question, that's what I learned, how to just date healthy and how to actually give just love just a shot.
Awesome. I don't have anything
Did you
else.
finish?
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification. Make sure, if you want Dietrich as your chef, not as your date, but as your chef. All right? As your chef. I'm going to say that one more time. If you want Dietrich as your chef, hit him up on Instagram at Eat Fresh Cuisine. Hit him up on Instagram. Again, you want him to be your chef. All right? That's it. That is it. Hit him
Stop
up.
that.
That's a pronoun.
They might want to send a DM. You just stifle somebody's
Well, guess what?
game.
You know what? Bless his pockets first. You know what I'm saying? Bless his pockets first.
Amen.
Hey, seriously, we enjoyed you on the show. Thank you for accepting the offer. Thank you for the interview. We appreciate you. It was a pleasure to see you on TV and a pleasure to talk to you, to see that you're genuine for what we saw on TV to what you're at now. And we thank you for taking your time out to be with us. And, once again, ladies and gentlemen, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Make sure you share this with somebody else and tell somebody else about the Jac and Glen channel. And also check out, once again, Dietrich, Darnell at Eat Fresh Cuisine on Instagram. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, good night. Thank you very much. And we'll catch you down the road.
Bye. Thanks for joining, y'all.